Modern love looks louder than ever, but it feels quieter inside. I'm Harold. I'm 90 years old, and it took me nearly a century to understand why so many people today can touch each other so easily, yet struggle to truly connect. When I was a young man in the 1950s, love was slower, not always better, not always healthier, slower. You met someone through church, through family, through work. You saw them in real life. You noticed how they treated waiters, how they spoke to their parents, how they handled disappointment. Attraction mattered, of course it did, but character mattered more because you couldn't swipe away character. I met my wife Eleanor at a bus stop. It was raining, and I offered her my umbrella, even though it barely covered the both of us. We talked for 20 minutes before her bus came. 20 minutes, that was all. But I remember going home and thinking about the way she listened, not just heard me, listened, as if what I said mattered. That's what modern love seems to be missing, the feeling of being heard. I watch my grandchildren now. Good kids, smart, kind, but they date through screens. They talk through screens. They end things through screens. A relationship can begin and end without two people ever sitting in the same silence together. Oh, and that silence is where love is tested. Back in my day, we had fewer choices. That's the truth. If you lived in a small town, you probably dated someone within a 10-mile radius. Today, a person can scroll through hundreds of faces in a single night. And at first, that sounds like freedom, more options, more chances. But I've lived long enough to know that too many options can make the heart restless. When you believe someone better is always one swipe away, you never fully invest in the person in front of you. You hold a small part of yourself back. You keep one foot near the door. Eleanor and I didn't marry because we were overwhelmed with perfect chemistry. We married because we chose each other repeatedly, through arguments about money, through sleepless nights with crying babies, through years when romance felt buried under responsibility. We stayed because we had decided that love was not a feeling to chase, but a promise to keep. I'm not blind. I know my generation made mistakes. We stayed in relationships we shouldn't have. We hid our problems. We tolerated things in silence. I'm not saying the past was pure. I'm saying it required patience. Modern love feels empty because it is often built on performance instead of presence, profiles instead of patience, attraction instead of admiration. Hookup culture, as they call it now, treats intimacy like a handshake. Quick, casual, disposable. And when something sacred becomes casual, it slowly loses its meaning. I've spoken to young people who have shared their bodies with dozens of partners, but have never felt truly chosen by one. Being chosen is powerful. It tells you that someone has seen your flaws and stayed anyway. That they have compared you to the world and still decided, this is my person. Today, many people are chosen temporarily, until boredom arrives, until conflict appears, until someone new shows interest. And every temporary connection chips away at the belief that something lasting is possible. When Eleanor and I fought, and we did, there was no backup plan. There was no app waiting to validate me. There was only the work of sitting across from her at our kitchen table and saying, this hurts, but I'm still here. Modern dating often avoids that table. It avoids discomfort. It avoids vulnerability. It avoids commitment because commitment feels risky. And it is risky. You can get hurt, you can be disappointed, but without that risk, love becomes a transaction. Two people exchanging attention until something better appears. I have lived long enough to bury my wife. I held her hand in a hospital room and felt a lifetime of memories pass between us without words. That kind of connection is not built in late-night messages or filtered photographs. It is built in years of showing up when it would have been easier to leave. And I think that is what feels empty now, not because young people are incapable of love, but because they are surrounded by systems that reward novelty over loyalty. And I think that is what feels empty now. Not because young people are incapable of love, but because they are surrounded by systems that reward novelty over loyalty. I have sat with young men who tell me they are exhausted from dating, not heartbroken, not devastated, just tired. Tired of small talk that goes nowhere, tired of pretending to be impressive, tired of starting over again and again. They say they have met many people but known very few. And I have listened to young women who say they feel invisible unless they are entertaining, attractive, or endlessly agreeable. They say they are talking to 3 different men at once because that is what everyone expects now. But none of those conversations feel real. Everyone is replaceable, including themselves. When everyone is replaceable, no one feels secure. Security is not exciting at first. It does not give you butterflies. It gives you steadiness. It gives you the quiet confidence that someone will answer the phone when you call. It gives you the comfort of knowing that even when you are not at your best, you are still wanted. Eleanor saw me at my worst more than once. She saw me fail in business. She saw me lose my temper. She saw me doubt myself, and she did not walk away at the first sign of imperfection. She confronted me. She challenged me, but she stayed. And because she stayed, I grew. Modern love often leaves before growth has a chance to happen. If someone disappoints you, you can disappear. If you feel bored, you can download another app. If the spark fades, you assume it means the relationship is wrong, instead of understanding that sparks naturally calm into something warmer and deeper. I think many people today are chasing intensity instead of intimacy. Intensity is loud, it is fast, it feels urgent. Intimacy is quiet. It builds slowly. It requires repetition, repeated conversations, repeated forgiveness, repeated choice. I am not saying dating apps are evil, they are tools. But tools shape behavior. When love begins like shopping, it is easy to treat people like products. You compare features, you evaluate appearance, you look for upgrades. But marriage, at least the kind that lasts, is not an upgrade system. It is an investment, and investments require time before they show their value. When I look back on 90 years, the most meaningful moments were not dramatic. They were ordinary evenings, sitting beside Eleanor while she read her book, driving in silence after a long day, sharing coffee at sunrise before the children woke up. Those moments would not impress anyone online, but they formed the backbone of a life. Modern love feels empty because it often skips the ordinary. It wants highlights without history, passion without patience, chemistry without character. And here is what took me 90 years to understand. Love is not about finding someone who excites you every day. It is about finding someone you are willing to stand beside on the days when neither of you are exciting at all. It is about choosing one person in a world full of options and saying, I will build something here, instead of constantly searching for something better. If you are young and listening to me, I am not asking you to go backward in time. I am asking you to slow down, to sit across from someone without your phone on the table, to let conversations be awkward, to let silence stretch, to ask deeper questions and stay long enough to hear the real answers. Do not confuse attention with affection. Do not confuse physical closeness with emotional safety, and do not mistake endless choice for freedom if it leaves you feeling alone. I am 90 years old. I have loved once, deeply and imperfectly, and when I look at the world now, I do not see a generation that has forgotten how to love. I see a generation that has been taught to consume it instead of commit to it. Love stops feeling empty when it stops being temporary. It begins to feel full when two people decide that leaving is not the first solution to discomfort. If I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it would be this: choose carefully, but once you choose, give it your whole heart, not half of it, not until something better appears, all of it. Because at the end of a long life, what matters is not how many people desired you, it is who stayed and who you stayed for.